Back with more money matters, and we'll explore the cost of handling money. In fact, we found out that billions of dollars are spent each year to manage cash transactions alone. We'll speak to an expert to learn more about a more cost-efficient and secure method of cash handling. Now, how much cash is in circulation in Singapore? Well, according to the Monetary Authority of Singapore, some 23 billion Sing dollars last year.
One would imagine we're almost cashless, but it doesn't seem that way. With cash transactions not phasing out anytime soon, banks and retailers will continue to have to handle cash, and this is a process that remains expensive, inefficient, and time-consuming.
But this may be a thing of the past with a system that automates cash processing and enhances the security and transparency in cash handling. Well, to tell us more about this solution, we spoke to Ricardos Khoury from Wincor Nixdorf, one of the world's leading providers of innovative IT to retailers and banks.
The company has developed the cash automation system that aims to close the cash loop, and we started the interview by asking him to explain just how the current cash cycle works.
If you look at the cash in circulation worldwide, in the Eurozone, there's a study from the European Central Bank. It is increasing year on year by 8%. Despite tremendous initiatives globally by central banks, by regulatories to move into an e-money or cashless society, this is not really happening as the way those initiatives are predicting. If we look at the total cost of handling cash and managing cash worldwide, and this is also a study by McKinsey recently, $300 billion are spent yearly on managing the cash processes. And so it's a huge amount of money. Eh?
You see, but I'm a little lost. When you talk about cash process, what are we talking about? Where are the inefficiencies?
I mean, the inefficiencies lie in different parts of the process itself. From the moment you moved cash from the cash center up to the moment you move the cash into the bank itself, into the retail outlets, and maybe back to a cash center again. The complete process, even if we talk about the individual cash cycles within, let's say, a banking branch. Cash on the counter, for example, maybe you don't know this, cash on the counter is not used in ATMs. It has to go by truck to the cash center, it has to be counted again, put in cassettes, and sent with a different truck back to the same location.
Okay. I never knew that. We always imagine a bank would have just a big vault full of cash they use for all the different purposes.
You replenish your own ATM and so on. No, that's not the case. What we are doing now is we are changing that with a technology that will enable to reutilize the cash within a certain outlet, to share the cash between different outlets, but most importantly, to share the cash between bankers and retailers. Same pool of cash.
So give us an idea, how does this solution work? What is this new method?
It took a while to figure out a practical solution, because we can't start from something which is not familiar to the people using cash. So at the heart of this new solution we came up with is an intelligent cash container. Today, a cassette that sits in an ATM is different from the cassette in a cash deposit system. It's different from the container which sits in a TCR, we call it teller cash recycler, which sits under the counter of a bank branch. These devices don't share a single cassette technology. What we have done today is we have one intelligent cash container that can be swapped between those different devices without the need to count the cash, because it has the intelligence to register every transaction that goes into the cassette, who deposited the notes, who was the teller, what was the timestamp, and even up to the level of the serial number of the notes.
So it's all automated, and so no longer will I be passing cash to another human being. It will be straight into the box.
You can do it, there are two ways. You can put the box facing the consumer, so you can deposit your own notes and the teller will be serving you. We have cases in the US where we have started such pilots. Or it could be facing the client service relationship manager, and he would be doing that for you, but it's within your site, so you can see what's happening.
So I guess the thing is, in the past, because the boxes are all different shapes and sizes, you have to move money, you've got to take it out, count from this box, put it to that box, recount it, and every time you move it, you recount it again.
One more thing. Today, most of the banks leave the cash in a drawer. When you go to a counter, he will get the cash either counted by hand or counted with a counting machine, and then he leaves the cash in a specific drawer. So there is no automation here You have to take this volume of cash to the vault in the back and send it to the cash center.
So for this solution to work, that means everyone will have to, collectively adopt the solution, isn't it? Would that be a challenge to convince companies?
Correct. It has to happen gradually. There is no way for a big bang approach here. Everyone faces a replacement cycle. So you will have technologies all over the place. There are some of them 2 years old, some of them 10 years old. So you start with somewhere, and then you benchmark. So if you have, let's say, a couple of branches in Singapore using this new technology, you can see that, in these 2 branches or in these 2 retail outlets, my cost has dramatically decreased. Could be a couple of millions every year.
Do we have real-life cases?
We are working now with customers here on some pilots.
What about around the world?
Around the world we have Credit Suisse, for example, is using this new technology. The family of products is called CNA, which has this single container technology across retail and banking. And we have also Poco, which is a furniture store in Germany.
But has it shown improvement?
Oh, definitely, straight away. And we have, which is a very impressive case, Postbank in Germany and Shell petrol stations. So at the petrol stations, the cashier is no longer getting the cash and putting it in the drawer. They use such technology, and the cash, when it's deposited, it's credited straight away into Shell's account at Postbank. So they can start earning interest promptly.
Wow, okay. So you're kind of doing it's halfway between being cashless and with cash. You're kind of doing I don't know how you say it.
It's a very good statement, because actually we're trying to improve the process as much as we can. As long cash remains valid, we have to do something about it.
Yeah.
I mean, why cash is still valid? I'll give you another story. If you stack today the $100 bills, all the $100 bills in the world, there will be 760 times higher than Burj Khalifa in Dubai.
Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, right?
760 times taller than Burj Khalifa, and they will pay for it 150 times.
Whew.
So how can you take all of this out of circulation? It's going to take time. Meanwhile, we have to find ways how we help retailers and how we help bankers address those issues.
So we don't see this, because I guess the cost of using cash, to the consumer, is transparent. We don't think about these things.
Cash is convenience. That's part of why cash is still here.
Yeah.
If you are in a hurry and if you don't pay for something, I have hundreds of cards. I carry maybe 4 or 5 of them. Problem is, if I'm really in a hurry, I will throw the $10 bill and I will just walk away. Can I do this with cards?
Right, it makes sense for businesses and companies, and you've clearly put it out for us. But consumers, come down to the consumers. How does it benefit us?
Yep, that's a good question, because that's also what we thought about carefully when we designed the new family of products. Because for the consumer, he will not be able to see the back-end process. He will not be able to see the savings. Probably it's irrelevant to him.
Yep.
Somehow it is relevant. If you look at the green processes, reducing truck trips, reducing all this carbon footprint, must be relevant if you are socially aware.
But will it cost us more, which is what the consumers are usually
Not really. No, because there will be lots of savings for the bankers and retailers, and we assume that once there are savings, naturally those savings will come to the consumer as well at one point of time. But for the consumer, when we designed the product, we made sure that the interfaces are really state-of-the-art touch interfaces. So you will have a new experience when you visit those new ATMs. Very exciting, very secure. You will not be the possibility of getting a fake note from those devices, even though it's a deposit or recycling machine, will be much less than before. The possibility of getting your card skimmed on those ATMs. For example, we use a new technology called optical security guard, which detects the environment around the card reader, taking snapshots and comparing every few seconds the snapshots. Even a change of a millimeter will be detected. That means there is a fraudulent device in front of the card reader. So at the end of the day, it's protection to the consumer.
Which also makes me ask, because sometimes we get frustrated when you try and pay for something on one of those machines that takes a bill, and it rejects your bill no matter how hard you try, because it's a little bit crumpled.
Or it's out of cash and out of service. That's also another part which relates to the consumer. By having the complete process automated, and we have forecasting tools and software, we make sure that the ATMs are all available 24/7. That's also part of the user experience.
That was Ricardos Khoury from Khoury, one of the world's leading providers of innovative IT to retailers and banks, and speaking to us about a more efficient and secure method of cash handling.
I mean, it's quite interesting because we never really think about how our cash is processed. It's got to go back to the bank, it's redistributed, and the fact that I guess, you don't think about the boxes being different sizes.
Exactly,
Yeah, so these are things.
It really will cut down efficiency and, of cost as well.
So if it's good for the business, they save money, then hopefully that translates to the consumers benefiting from that as well.
I hope so too, yeah.
But you know what's the one place you can always find money?
Where?
In the dictionary. We should take off for a break now. See, I left that for. I knew it would take a while, but yes, if you think about
dictionary, but everywhere else too.
No, you can always find money in the dictionary.
I know, and
everywhere else?
Everywhere else too.
Why everywhere else?
Just a word, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Okay. Let me process that one for a while.
Okay, I threw it back at him. All right, you're watching Primetime Morning.